on, Harvey, you can talk big on the radio. What? Go on.
Oh, no, you
say your I think you say it to my face. You read what you say on the radio. Shut it up!
Sorry? Yeah, well,
come on.
I'm in your house.
We told you a couple of weeks ago about John Gormley, our friend in Saskatchewan, being shut down at the University of Regina. It's an ongoing problem with a lack of real discourse on university campuses. Right now, I'm at the University of Ottawa. This is the place where they shut down Ann Coulter by pulling the fire alarm. Well, our friend Janice Fiamengo experienced a similar problem. She was shut down last Friday. Check it out.
Okay, you know, it's the signature. It's the signature of a totalitarian ideology to attempt to quash dissent. So every time you interrupt, you're merely showing your repressive tendencies. You're not showing anything about your virtue. Okay, let's forget it. There's no point. So you think this is a victory? Yeah, why are you so frightened of hearing an opinion different from your own? You're pathetic.
Janice Fiamengo joins me now in her office. And Janice, was it just disappointing that this happened yet again? Attempt to have a meaningful discussion shut down at university, or is this just par for the course?
Unfortunately, it does seem to be par for the course now. I was disappointed, but I also felt that at least it made my point that I was trying to make at Queen's and at the University of Ottawa, that unfortunately on campus today it isn't possible to discuss a whole range of subjects because there is this very vocal minority of hardcore radical students who don't believe in free speech.
Now, when I was looking at going to university, maybe I was just foolish, I was idealistic. I thought, well, this is where you go to debate ideas. This is where you go to think big, to have your thoughts challenged, to challenge others. And is it campus-wide? Is it just within certain faculties? Does it just happen for talks like yours that are outside of the classroom?
Well, I think that it happens particularly for a number, it's campus-wide, I would say, and that it happens on a number of key issues. If you want to discuss abortion from a pro-life position, if you're pro-Israel, if you want to talk about Islam in ways that are politically incorrect, and now if you want to talk about men's issues in a way outside of the feminist framework of the evil patriarchy, someone is going to claim that you are a proponent of hate, or that you're in some way, you know, suppressing women's rights, and that therefore you do not have any right to speak at all.
And that's part of what you were trying to discuss on Friday here when you were shut down.
Yeah.
Men's issues. And
yeah.
Is there a push for men's groups on campus to say, look, we should have a say in some of this?
Yeah, I mean, this is what's caused all the problem in the last year and a half or so, is that there have been a number of men's issues awareness societies that have tried to form. I know you're aware of this. There's been one in Toronto, there was one in Ryerson, one has just formed in Queen's against a lot of opposition. There's an attempt to start one up here at the University of Ottawa. And these are men and women who want to talk about men's lives. And there's lots of things to talk about. The high rate of suicide amongst young men in the category 19 to 24, depression, problems with just feeling generally that they're blamed for all of the violence and the bad things in the world. And men and women want to talk about these issues in the way they see fit. And a lot of radical feminists see that as a profound threat.
So, women are already the majority on pretty much every campus across Canada, every campus across North America.
2 to 1 now, pretty much.
2 to 1.
Yeah.
So where's the oppression?
Yeah, well,
if it's the patriarchy oppressing women on campus and they outnumber the men 2 to 1, where's the oppression?
Yeah, well, you know, that's why, I mean, when you are a revolutionary movement, you always are looking for something even better. If you're a reform movement and you can say, okay, we achieved these specific things, then you can stop. But in this case, obviously, many feminists want to be able to continue to claim that they are oppressed because that position, the victim position, is a very morally strong position. So the thought that men actually might have issues now, that maybe in some ways men are being left behind in our society. That is absolutely anathema to these ideologues, and they just simply don't want the conversation to take place. And one of my points was that this notion that we live in a rape culture, which is a classic ideological tool to you know, suppress opponents. It's a very damaging kind of discourse. It's damaging for women, I think. It creates a false sense of fear and also, you know, righteous outrage of the sort that I saw on Friday night. And it also, of course, tars all men as potential rapists, which is simply not true.
Okay, so let's touch on that, and we'll see if we can get to one other topic before we run out of time. So the idea that we have a rape culture, and I've heard this, and we'll be talking about that a bit more in a moment, but I don't know anyone that supports rape. I don't know anyone that thinks it's a good idea. So how are men, other than the ones that do commit it, and let's face it, that's a fact, but who defends them? Most men I know want to do physical damage to these people. Yes,
rape is a heinous crime in Canada. It's condemned by every right-thinking person. And I mean, there are rape cultures in the world where victims are blamed and where rapists are not punished harshly or are not punished at all, but that isn't Canada. And so the only thing I can think is that this claim of a rape culture is precisely a way for certain ideologues to be able to silence opponents and to claim righteous victim status for themselves, and that gives them a lot of power.
Do men have a shot on university campuses anymore at all?
Well, I mean, the male presence on university campuses all across North America is at an all-time low. And it seems to me that is shocking. I would think that there would be, if the situation were reversed, there would be panel discussions, it would be front page news, there would be all sorts of proactive strategies to make sure that, you know, that situation was being addressed. We don't see that now. And I do think that we now live in a culture, maybe have for a long time, where men's harms to men are not considered very important, if they're considered at all. And that's why attempts to have men's issues awareness societies is met with such outrage by people who claim they believe in equality.
All right, Janice, thanks so much.